Chosen one, have you been working hard, sending applications, praying faithfully, and still wondering why every opportunity seems to pass you by? Have you asked yourself why the doors you expected to open have remained closed? If those questions have been on your heart, then stay with me until the very end, because this message may completely change the way you see this season of your life. Sometimes what feels like rejection is actually divine preparation. Sometimes the delay that frustrates you today becomes the very reason you are ready for tomorrow's blessing. God often works in ways that we cannot immediately understand. Throughout the Bible, we see faithful men and women who experienced seasons of waiting before stepping into their purpose. Their delays were never meaningless. They were opportunities for growth, wisdom, and spiritual maturity. If you are in a season of uncertainty, don't let fear convince you that your future has been forgotten. Instead, allow this moment to strengthen your faith and deepen your trust in God's perfect timing. Rather than focusing only on what has not happened yet, begin asking what God wants to teach you while you wait. He may be building your character, sharpening your gifts, and preparing you for responsibilities greater than you can currently imagine. Stay encouraged, keep your heart open to His guidance, and believe that every step of preparation has a purpose, even when the destination is not yet visible. There are moments in life when it feels as though everyone else is moving forward while you remain standing in the same place. You may have watched friends receive job offers, promotions, or new opportunities while your own prayers seem to be met with silence. In those moments, discouragement can quietly settle into your heart, making you wonder if God has overlooked you. But don't allow temporary circumstances to convince you of a permanent lie. The God who created you knows exactly where you are, what you need, and the purpose He has placed inside your life. His timing has never been late, even when it feels slower than your own expectations. One of the greatest challenges for every believer is learning to trust God when there are no immediate answers. Faith becomes strongest not when everything is going well, but when you continue believing despite uncertainty. Waiting is rarely comfortable, but it often becomes the place where God accomplishes His deepest work. During seasons of delay, He shapes your character, strengthens your patience, increases your wisdom, and teaches you to depend on Him rather than on your own understanding. These lessons cannot always be learned during seasons of comfort and success. Think about David before he became king. He spent years caring for sheep in places where no one applauded him or recognized his future. Those quiet years were not wasted. They developed courage, responsibility, and unwavering trust in God. When Goliath appeared, David was already prepared because of the unseen battles he had fought in private. In the same way, your present season may be preparing you for opportunities that require greater strength, greater wisdom, and greater faith than you currently realize. Instead of allowing disappointment to control your thoughts, begin asking God to reveal what He wants to accomplish in you before He accomplishes something through you. Sometimes we become so focused on receiving the blessing that we overlook the importance of becoming the person who can faithfully manage that blessing. A new opportunity without spiritual maturity can quickly become overwhelming, but preparation gives you the strength to handle what God places in your hands. Use this season wisely. Continue learning new skills. Read books that increase your knowledge. Improve your communication, your discipline, and your work ethic. Spend time in prayer, study God's Word daily, and ask Him for wisdom in every decision you make. These simple habits may not seem significant today, but over time they become the foundation upon which lasting success is built. Every day you choose growth instead of frustration is another step toward the future God is preparing for you. Remember that your identity is not determined by your current employment status, your bank account, or the opinions of other people. Your worth comes from being created in the image of God and being loved by Him. The world may measure success by titles and income, but God looks at faithfulness, humility, and obedience. When you remain faithful in small things, He prepares you for greater responsibilities at the right time. So don't lose hope because your journey looks different from someone else's. Comparison only steals peace and distracts you from your own calling. God has written a unique story for your life, and every chapter serves a purpose. Keep trusting Him even when you cannot see the entire path ahead. Continue walking faithfully, continue preparing diligently, and continue believing that every delay has meaning. The door that God opens for you will come at the right time, and when it does, you will understand that every season of waiting was shaping you into the person you needed to become. One of the easiest traps to fall into during a season of waiting is believing that your value depends on your achievements. The world constantly tells us that success is measured by job titles, salaries, recognition, and accomplishments. When those things seem out of reach, it is easy to question your worth. But God has never measured your value by the position you hold or the amount of money you earn. Before you ever accomplished anything, He knew you, loved you, and created you with a unique purpose. Your identity begins with who God says you are, not with what the world says you have achieved. When you truly understand this truth, fear begins to lose its power. You stop chasing approval from people and start seeking God's direction instead. That change in perspective can transform your entire life. Rather than living with constant anxiety about the future, you begin trusting that the one who planned your life long before you were born is still guiding every step. Even when you cannot see what lies ahead, He can. Every delay, every challenge, and every unexpected turn can become part of His greater plan to prepare you for something you cannot yet imagine. Think about Joseph in the Bible. He received a dream from God at a young age, yet his journey to that promise was filled with hardship. He was misunderstood by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, and imprisoned for years. From a human perspective, it looked as though everything had gone wrong. But none of those difficult experiences canceled God's promise. Instead, each challenge developed Joseph's character, strengthened his faith, and prepared him with the wisdom he would need to lead an entire nation during a time of famine. If Joseph had reached the palace before he was ready, he might not have had the maturity to carry such great responsibility. Your life may feel similar right now. You may wonder why certain opportunities have disappeared or why the answers to your prayers seem delayed. Yet what appears to be a setback could actually be divine preparation. God often works behind the scenes, arranging circumstances in ways that we cannot understand until much later. While you are focused on what has not happened yet, He may already be positioning people, opening future doors, and developing qualities within you that will become essential for the next chapter of your life. This is why it is so important not to compare your journey with anyone else's. Every person has a different assignment, a different timeline, and different lessons to learn. Someone else's breakthrough does not mean your opportunity has been taken away. God's resources are unlimited, and His plans for you are personal. The success of another person should inspire you rather than discourage you. Celebrate their victories while continuing to trust that your own season will arrive at the proper time. While you wait, invest in becoming the best version of yourself. Strengthen your relationship with God through daily prayer. Read His Word with the expectation that He will guide your decisions. Continue improving your knowledge, your attitude, and your abilities. Practice excellence in the small responsibilities you already have, because faithfulness in little things often prepares you for much greater opportunities. Every lesson you learn today can become a blessing tomorrow. Never forget that God's timing is perfect even when it feels different from your own expectations. He sees the beginning and the end, while we only see the present moment. Trust that He knows exactly when the right opportunity should arrive. Until then, keep your heart filled with hope, keep your hands busy with preparation, and keep your eyes fixed on the One who has promised never to leave you. The waiting season will not last forever, and when God opens the right door, you will recognize that every moment of preparation had a purpose. While you are waiting for the right opportunity, never underestimate the importance of preparation. It is easy to believe that life will truly begin only after you receive the job, the promotion, or the breakthrough you have been praying for. But God often teaches His greatest lessons before the blessing arrives. The waiting season is not meant to be a season of doing nothing. It is a season of building, growing, learning, and becoming the person who can faithfully carry the responsibilities that are ahead. Every day you choose to improve yourself instead of giving in to discouragement is a day that moves you closer to the future God has prepared for you. Many people spend their waiting season focusing only on what they lack, but those who grow during difficult times often discover opportunities that others never notice. Ask yourself, what skills can I develop today? What habits can I strengthen? What weaknesses can I surrender to God? These questions shift your attention from frustration to growth. Every book you read, every lesson you learn, every new ability you practice, and every moment you spend seeking God's wisdom becomes an investment in your future. Small improvements repeated consistently over time can produce remarkable results. The Bible reminds us that faith without action is dead. Trusting God does not mean sitting still and expecting every problem to disappear without effort. Instead, faith inspires action. It gives you the courage to continue moving forward even when you cannot yet see the destination. Continue applying yourself with excellence. Continue learning. Continue serving others whenever you have the opportunity. Even acts that seem small today may become stepping stones toward the purpose God has prepared for you. Consider Noah. Before anyone else believed that rain would come, God instructed him to build the ark. For years Noah worked faithfully without seeing immediate results. People around him likely questioned his actions, mocked his obedience, and doubted his calling. Yet Noah continued preparing because he trusted God's instruction more than public opinion. When the appointed time arrived, his preparation became the very thing that preserved his family. His years of faithful obedience were not wasted, they positioned him for the moment God had already planned. The same principle applies to your own journey. There may be people who do not understand why you continue studying, developing your skills, or maintaining hope after facing disappointment. Some may even suggest that you lower your expectations or abandon your dreams altogether. But do not allow the voices of doubt to become louder than the voice of faith. God often calls His people to remain faithful long before the results become visible. Your consistency today may be preparing you for an opportunity that has not yet appeared. This is also the time to examine your heart. Success without humility can become dangerous, and opportunities without wisdom can quickly disappear. Ask God to shape your character just as much as your abilities. Pray for patience, integrity, compassion, self-control, and discernment. These qualities are often more valuable than technical skills because they determine how you respond when blessings finally arrive. A person with great talent but poor character may lose opportunities, while someone with steady character can build a lasting legacy. Do not spend your days comparing your progress with others. Social media often shows only the highlights of someone's journey while hiding the struggles they face to get there. Your path is unique because your calling is unique. God is not asking you to become someone else. He is inviting you to become the person He created you to be. Every lesson, every challenge, and every delay has been woven into your story for a reason. Trust that His plan for your life is unfolding according to His perfect wisdom. Most importantly, guard your heart against discouragement. There will be days when you feel like giving up, when another unanswered application or another closed door makes you question whether anything will ever change. During those moments, remember that your hope is not built upon human approval but upon God's faithfulness. The same God who has guided His people throughout history is still at work in your life today. He has not forgotten your prayers, and He has not overlooked your efforts. Keep preparing with excellence, keep praying with expectation, and keep believing with confidence. Every act of faith, every step of obedience, and every moment spent growing is part of the foundation God is laying beneath your future. When the right opportunity finally arrives, you will not simply celebrate the blessing, you will also recognize that the waiting season was one of the greatest gifts God ever gave you because it transformed you into the person who was ready to receive it. Chosen one, as this message comes to a close, remember that your future is not determined by closed doors, delayed answers, or the opinions of people around you. Your future rests in the hands of a faithful God who sees every prayer you have whispered, every tear you have cried, and every effort you have made when no one else was watching. There may be moments when you feel forgotten because the opportunity you hoped for has not yet appeared, but God's silence should never be mistaken for His absence. Even when you cannot see Him working, He is arranging circumstances, preparing hearts, and opening paths that will become clear at the right time. Never allow fear to become the voice that directs your decisions. Fear tells you that you have run out of time. Fear says that everyone else is moving ahead while you are being left behind. Fear whispers that your dreams are too big and your abilities are too small. But faith speaks a different message. Faith reminds you that God specializes in making a way where there seems to be no way. Throughout Scripture, God repeatedly called ordinary people to accomplish extraordinary things because His power is not limited by human circumstances. He used shepherds, fishermen, widows, prisoners, and people who felt completely unqualified. Their greatest qualification was not their experience, it was their willingness to trust Him. There will be times when unexpected opportunities appear. Before rushing into every open door, pause and seek God's wisdom. Not every opportunity is the right opportunity. Some doors may lead to unnecessary stress, unhealthy environments, or distractions that pull you away from your true purpose. Ask God to give you discernment so that you can recognize the difference between a good opportunity and the opportunity that truly aligns with His will. A smaller step in the right direction is far better than a larger step toward the wrong destination. As you continue your journey, make gratitude a daily habit. It is easy to thank God after receiving a breakthrough, but genuine faith learns to thank Him even before the answer arrives. Gratitude changes your perspective. Instead of focusing only on what you are still waiting for, it reminds you of everything God has already done. Think about the strength He has given you through difficult seasons, the lessons you have learned through challenges, the people He has placed in your life, and the countless ways He has protected you without your even realizing it. A grateful heart remains hopeful because it remembers God's faithfulness. Continue building your relationship with God above everything else. Spend time with Him each day through prayer and by reading His Word. Let His promises shape your thinking more than the negative voices around you. The closer you grow to God, the more clearly you will recognize His direction. Peace often becomes the confirmation that you are walking in the path He has prepared for you. Even when the road is uncertain, His presence will give you confidence to keep moving forward. At the same time, remain diligent in the practical responsibilities that are in front of you. Keep improving your skills, keep learning, keep serving others with excellence, and continue taking wise steps toward your goals. Faith and responsibility work together. Trusting God does not remove your responsibility to prepare. It gives purpose to every effort you make. Every skill you develop today, every connection you build with integrity, and every challenge you overcome becomes part of the foundation for tomorrow's opportunities. Most importantly, refuse to give up. The greatest breakthroughs often come after the moments when people are most tempted to quit. What feels like a delay today may actually be the final stage of preparation before a new chapter begins. Hold firmly to hope, even when the journey feels long. Continue believing that God is able to open doors no one can shut and provide opportunities beyond what you could have imagined. Keep your heart free from bitterness, your mind focused on truth, and your spirit anchored in faith. Chosen one, your story is still being written. This season is not your final destination, it is a chapter of preparation. Continue walking with courage, continue trusting God's wisdom, and continue becoming the person He created you to be. When the right opportunity arrives at the right time, you will look back on every moment of waiting and realize that none of it was wasted. God was shaping your character, strengthening your faith, and preparing you for a future far greater than you could see. Keep believing, keep growing, and never lose hope, because God's perfect timing is always worth the wait. If this message has spoken to your heart today, let it remind you that your current season does not define your future. Every delay, every unanswered prayer, and every closed door can become part of the greater story God is writing in your life. Do not lose hope simply because you cannot yet see the outcome. Continue trusting Him with all your heart, remain faithful in the small things, and keep preparing for the opportunities that are still ahead. Remember that God's timing is always wiser than our own, and His plans are always greater than anything we could imagine for ourselves. If this message encouraged you, write, "I trust God's perfect timing," in the comments as a declaration of faith. I would love to stand with you in prayer and believe for the breakthrough you have been waiting for. Also, share this video with someone who may be feeling discouraged or uncertain about their future, because a single message of hope can completely change someone's perspective. Don't forget to subscribe to Chosen One Focus and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming Bible-inspired messages filled with encouragement, wisdom, and hope. Thank you for spending this time with me. May the Lord strengthen your heart, guide your every step, fill you with peace, and open the right doors at the right time according to His perfect will. Until we meet again, stay faithful, stay encouraged, keep walking in wisdom, and always remember that God is working for your good, even when you cannot yet see what He is preparing behind the scenes.